Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the stream. My name is Technomagus and today we are going to be doing Megaman X5 like I promised, which was supposed to happen earlier this week, but anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me just boot up the game real quick. Here we go. Now, Megaman X5 is definitely one of my favorite games in the X series. I don't really care for the English translation too much, simply because the localizer decided that it would be a hilarious idea to name all the Mavericks after Guns N' Roses characters. And she did this because of, or actually, it wasn't even the localizer, it was someone not related to the localization department who named it after the Guns N' Roses characters because her husband liked Guns N' Roses. Yeah, go ahead, go figure. And where is my volume? Uh, hmm. Alright, there we go. Though I will admit, the intro music is definitely my favorite. Of course, you missed half of it because of the volume being low. But anyway, Mega Man X5 was originally intended to be the final game in the X series, and followed immediately by the Mega Man Zero series 100 years later. Well, Capcom kind of put the kibosh on that when they released Mega Man X6 less than a year later, but that's a whole other mess of problems we'll get to when we deal with it. Alright, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so like in Mega Man X4, you can select between starting with X or with Zero. There we go. Now, unlike in X4, you are not restricted to the character that you start off with. So you can switch freely between X and Zero between stages. We're going to be doing 2 playthroughs of this game. There's very minor story differences if you start off with X or Zero, namely your starting loadout. If you begin with X, you start with a powered down version of the Force Armor from X4. If you start with Zero, Zero has access to the Z-Buster, which is around the same power as a mid-level charge shot from X. The first playthrough, we're going to have X as the primary, because there's actually 3 different endings to the game, depending on certain circumstances around halfway through. And we'll deal with that in just a little bit. Just fair warning, there are an absolutely horrid number of spelling errors, grammar errors, awkward conversations. Oh, by the way, despite what that really cool-looking guy in the middle of the wreckage looks like, that is Dynamo. He is a total dork. And I don't even mean the fun kind of dork. He is a complete rube, and yeah. We're going to enjoy beating the crap out of him, let's put it that way. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to who that guy is. The first 2 don't count. And if you don't know who it is, well, here's a hint. He's bald, he's evil, he's got very unique facial markings. Yeah. Alright, as is Mega Man X tradition, we now have the intro stage. It's very short and straightforward, and has a boss that's weak to the charge shot. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and one other thing that X5 introduces is the Navigator, Alia. she tries to help. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that Alia's interrupting the action is very annoying. You do not have any choice as when Alia comes in. It pauses the action, and you have to listen to her talk at you until the game resumes. Now, another thing that Megaman X5 introduces is the ranking system. If you noticed, it started off with X as a rank B hunter and Zero as a rank SA hunter. This comes into play with another thing that the game introduces, which is the boss leveling system. Just like X and Zero, bosses improve their stats as the game goes on. Whoop. And another thing is this game introduces the ability to crouch, which is used in some levels. It's not absolutely necessary. But anyway, bosses level up based on certain circumstances, notably your hunter rank and the number of other bosses that you've already fought. Fighting a boss at level 4 or above allows you to get a bonus heart tank or weapon energy tank on defeating the boss. And then fighting the boss at level 8 or above grants you access to a special item that you can equip on the status screen. Oh, look, there's Zero. He got chumped. Hey, look who it is! It's the disembodied head of evil. Bald dude. Right off the bat, we're fighting Sigma. Cool, that means we'll be done in just a minute. Oh, as soon as it decides to load. And just like with all previous Mega Man X first stage bosses, the boss is incredibly weak to the charge shot, but in this particular case, you can only hit him while the mouth is open. Unlike every other one, where you just blast the crap out of him. Alright. Yay! Sigma's dead! The game is over! We won! Woo! Oh wait, this is only the intro stage, isn't it? And plot. Alright, so now the 16 hours of basically entering a stage and leaving a stage consumes 1 hour of time. You can continue an unlimited number of times without spending an hour, but other than that, it doesn't do anything else. Okay, and actually, in case you're wondering, one block on a PS1 memory card actually holds 8 slave slots worth of data, so you can pretty much fill this entire thing up and not be missing anything. Alright, so now on to the way the mechanics work. Well, first they have to introduce the Mavericks. Alright, so all the bosses start off at level 1. The really funny thing is, they're introducing them in weakness order. Or at least the first 4 bosses, because it's... yeah, it's basically, these are the 4 Mavericks, you need to get the Enigma parts, and then there's these other guys that we don't care about. Now, the other interesting thing about this game is that it's actually possible to get to the Sigma stages without actually fighting a single boss. To do this, you can fire the Enigma cannon and launch the space shuttle early. You are not required to you're not required to wait until you get all 4 parts to fire it. And you do that by hitting the R1 button. Then you go to status, and then we can... Now, the Enigma automatically fires once you receive all 4 parts, and the shuttle automatically launches once the Enigma has fired and you've gotten all 4 shuttle parts. Firing the Enigma has a chance to blow up the colony. If you blow up the colony, you go into the Sigma stages. If the Enigma fails, you add 1 hour to the remaining time, and then you can launch the shuttle. No matter what happens when you launch the shuttle, you get to go into the final stages. Now, we are not actually going to fire the Enigma yet. We're going to instead waste a bunch of hours so that we can get the bosses level up, because we want to make sure the bosses are at least level 8 when we fight them so that we can swipe their parts. So, the easiest way to do this is to go into Squid Adler stage, or rather his original name was Bolt Kraken. And you don't even touch the controller. Because the goal here is to just die a whole bunch of times, stage select out, go back in, die a whole bunch of times, stage select out. And when we actually go through this stage for real, then I'll explain more about how it works. But for right now, watch me grind deaths. And go stage select. Please bear with the loading times. Oops. We don't need to save right now. We need to do this 5 times to get the in order to get the hours down to 11, so that we can actually start fighting the boss Mavericks at level 8 or above. This is actually the first game where the boss weapons really aren't all that useful, because most of the time you'll actually run out of weapon ammunition before you can kill the boss, especially as they start getting upwards in level. In the boss free fights in the final area, they're at level 96, where their life bar takes up the entire right half of the screen. Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. And depending on how the shuttle fares when you launch it, determines which of the 3 endings that you will get. Alright, so please bear with me while I grind a few more deaths. Well, while we are waiting for X to die horribly by ramming into a wall and falling down a pit, let me explain how the level system works. So, as I mentioned earlier, your hunter rank affects the level of the bosses, as well as the remaining hours until the crash of the colony. In addition, the number of bosses that you've already killed up to that point also affects the level of the bosses. So, basically, the bosses all start off at level 1. Now that we've burned 3 hours, they are at level 4. If your hunter rank is between rank E and rank A, there are no additional levels added. Rank SA, which 0 is, adds 2 to the boss's level. Rank PA, which is the next level above that, adds an additional 2. And then rank MEH, which is the highest, adds an additional 2 on top of that. Ranking up is a pain in the neck, because it is a matter of, in order to rank up, you need to get through the level fast, in under a minute. You need to kill, at most, 40 Mavericks. Like, as in, you can't fight enemies. And the boss himself counts as a Maverick, as do destructible shots count as Mavericks, so that's also annoying. You also can't take damage. Taking more than 8 damage causes you to lose points towards your hunter rank. And then you also have to deal you also have to hit the boss for a certain amount of damage in a single shot in order to count it towards the hunter rank. You can get a maximum of 40 points for killing under 40 enemies, for getting under, I think, 8 damage. Oh, and actually there's one other thing that I forgot. There are also Sigma viruses that show up. That's what that little icon in the lower left is for. When you get hit by a Sigma virus, it increases your infection meter. If X is fully infected, it freezes him in place, and he takes damage over a brief period of time. If Zero is fully infected by the virus, he instead gets a temporary invincibility and a boost to his damage output for a shorter period of time. And the reasons for that gets explained later on in the game. But getting hit by Sigma virus is an immediate dock in points. But you get a maximum of 8 points for each of the ranking: time, Mavericks killed, virus hits, damage dealt to the final boss, and damage taken. Max it all out to get the full 40 points, you're guaranteed a rank up. To go from, I think, B to A, you need to get at least like 20-some points. Then from A to SA is another 32. And then to rank up after that point is another 32 points each time. You have no idea how many points you get over the course of the level. You just need to keep track of that yourself. It's not worth it. It really isn't. It's just easier to grind the hours down in Squid Adler's stage, because, oh look, we're already there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Grizzly Slash, or Crescent Grizzly, as his Japanese name was. Alright, and we are going to take the 4th armor. Oh wait, actually I think I was supposed to take 0 in this fight. No, whatever, we'll find out in a minute. If it turns out that he's under level 8, then we'll just die and switch to 0. Okay, now, like I said before, this is a weakened version of the 4th armor from X4. And basically, the main difference is that it does not have the Giga attack that X4 had, or the Nova Strike Air Dash, which I never actually showed in my X4 playthrough, sorry guys. It also does not have the infinite sub-weapon energy that was in that the helmet piece gave. Basically, the reason for this is X does not take very good care of his armors, and they are essentially trashed by the time he finishes fighting Sigma. Now, yeah, we're not ranking up on this stage. Alright, anyway. So, what ends up happening is Alia repaired this one. Oh, yeah. Going up there is how you get the heart tank in this stage. We're not going to be getting it. Alright, anyway, moving on. So Aelia ended up repairing the fourth armor, or force armor, and renaming it the fourth armor, but she's not very good at it. She's no Dr. Light, so instead we have a reduced power armor. Oh yeah, that was another thing that was introduced into this game in addition to the ability to crouch, is that there are wires that you can that you can grab onto. Alright, and there's also a sub-tank here. Watch out for those drills, they are instant death. And there's the sub-tank. And this is all auto, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, since you can freely switch between X and Zero, Zero can actually pick up X's armor capsules. But we're getting this one with X. The other thing is, because you can pick up the armor capsules as either X or Zero, there are actually two different armors that X can pick up over the course of the game. The Falcon Armor and the Gaia Armor. In order to be able to activate an armor, however, you need to pick up all 4 capsules of that particular armor first. So, in this case, we are getting the foot parts for the Falcon Armor. By the way, the "you are invincible while flying" is complete lies. You can actually be shot out of the air. And also, if you run into certain enemies, or like certain enemies, if you don't kill them, will also hurt you. Though the Falcon Armor's flight mode does actually have, does do a decent amount of damage. Alright, so on to the first Maverick. Now, the Mavericks actually have 6 different things that they say, depending on when you fight them. And who you fight them with. If you fight them with X or Zero, whether or not you need the Enigma parts, or the shuttle parts, or if the colony has been destroyed or crashed already. Most of the time, when you're fighting them, basically the Mavericks that you're fighting are actually just starting to get infected by the Maverick virus, so they're mostly sane, but they're like, no, you gotta fight me. Oh, crap, he's only level 7. Okay, come on, I need to go die. Come on, come on, come on. The Mavericks are really slow, horribly predictable, and most of them are really easy to beat without taking any damage. But because he is under level 8, we need to die, and I can't escape out before clearing the stage. So, yeah. Alright. So, we're just gonna die, escape out, and then re-enter with X, and then we'll be fighting a level 8 Grizzly Slash. Come on. Unfortunately, the other problem is the 4th armor has a built-in shock absorber, which means that all damage X takes is reduced by half, which means it takes even longer for him to kill X than it would if I was unarmored X. Come on. Come on, fulfill my suicide wish. Alright. Okay, now that that horrible waste of time has been done, let's actually start playing the game. Now, the way that the part system works is, once the boss is at level 8, killing the boss lets you choose between either getting a life up or an energy up, and then, depending on which one you pick, you get one of 2 parts. Um, let me see. I'm getting my cheat sheet here so I can find out what boss has which part. The problem is, two of the best parts in the game are both held by the same boss. Thankfully, once you see Alia's text once, she doesn't repeat it. Alright, back to the main truck. Not going to be able to get the heart tank here. Now, the other thing is, the character you pick up the heart tank or the energy up with is the character who receives it. So, like, power-ups that X receives, Zero does not get. So if you plan on focusing on one character, or it's best to focus on one character, I should say. Alright, so back to the final area. So now that we can actually fight this stupid guy and get what we need. Why are you only level 6? Oh, freaking, really? Alright. That just happened. Come on, come on. Gotta do this again. We're good at this game, folks. Alright. One more death. Now, also, the way that the parts work is that it takes 2 hours for the parts to be complete and 1 hour for the upgrades to be complete, for the health up and energy up. So basically, when you ask for the health up or energy up at the end of a boss stage, the next stage is when it's completed, and the character who completes that stage is the one who gets it. So, for example, if I were to complete the next stage with Zero, or say I were to choose the health up for this stage after beating him, after being Grizzly Slash, if I were to do the next stage with Zero, then Zero would get the health up for when it's completed. Alright, let's try this one more time. Alright, just to make absolutely sure that we get it, we're taking Zero into this stage, because Zero will guarantee that he's going to be at level, level 9 or 10, which means that I'm going to get a part for killing him. And then I can just do everything else with X. I don't plan on using Zero at all during this playthrough, with the exception of this particular, stage. And you'll see why once the shuttle launches. Now, Zero does not have the double jump starting off in this game, but he does have the air dash. And I also have the ability to die. Alright, let's try this again. Now, it is actually impossible for Zero to pick up the heart tank in this stage. There are 4 of the heart tanks Zero cannot pick up under any circumstances. Great. What does it take to get freaking some energy in this game? That was close. All right, on to the boss. Yay! Also, the Dr. Light capsules do have unique dialogue when Zero picks them up, as opposed to when X picks them up. And you'll see that on when we do the second playthrough with Zero, because Zero can pick up 6 of the capsules. He can't complete an armor set by himself. In case you're wondering, no, I almost guaranteed will not be able to... Well, actually, I might be able to beat him without taking any damage, but it's unlikely. Oops. Well, almost killed him. Alright, this time we got him. Grizzly Slash also gives Zero his double jump, so he is a very good starting Maverick. Alright, and he's dead. Yay! We did it! We did it. We're good at this game. And this is probably going to dog Zero's rank. Oh wow, it didn't. That's surprising. Okay, so like I said, when you see the plus at the end, that means that the boss was a high enough level to be able to get both the life up or the energy up plus the special parts. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what. I want to say I want the energy upgrade from him, but I can't remember for sure. Give me just a moment. Handy little cheat sheet right here. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So, here we are. So, getting the... Oh yeah, here we go. The energy up for Grizzly Slash gives you the Hyper Dash, which shortens your dash on the ground, but makes it move significantly faster. The life up gives you the Shock Absorber, which basically reduces damage. It actually does not do anything with... it does not combine with X's armor to further reduce damage, so there's no point to actually... picking it up. Alright, so... let's go ahead and... Alright, so now for the rest of the game, we will be using X. Oh, first we have the idiot. He's got very cool music, but he's an idiot. Alright, so next is Duff McWhalen, or Title Macokin. Or Title Whale. This stage is one gigantic mini-boss fight, as you will soon find out. Yes, that submarine we have to fight throughout the entire level. And all the times that you actually fight it a course of like 6 or so times. Or no, not that many. 4 times, I believe. And each time you fight it, it is an auto-scrolling segment. And during this initial segment, it launches out the Reploids that need help. What they do, picking them up gives you a small energy refill as well as an extra life, as you saw. And those guys will actually come back to basically be more storyline significant in X6 when we eventually get to that one. Yes, you are restricted to how fast the whale is moving, or the sub. Alright, now it's time to actually fight this stupid thing. Or at least the first stage of it. Its weak spot is the center. It's the center cannon. All you have to do is just keep firing charge shots at it. It's just like an intro stage boss. Alright, now on to the second phase of it, where we have to fight the tail. Unfortunately, unlike the first half, or the first fight, you can't actually destroy the respawning torpedo launchers. Or permanently destroy them, I should say. At least not until you fight the thing at the bottom of this segment. Oh, and by the way, as this is an auto-scrolling segment, if you try to drop down to speed up the process, it's a bottomless pit and you die. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, never mind, no you don't. Okay. Sorry, my memory is a little fuzzy. And now that you can finally destroy these stupid things, alright, that is the last we will see of that for a little bit longer. Now we have a dry section. Alright, so going up there gets you to the heart tank. You need the Tri-Thunder, which you get from Squid Adler to get up there. And then also you need the there's a spike segment, so you need either the Falcon Armor or the Gaia Armor. Or actually you can just fly straight up here. And that gets you the heart tank. In order to get the armor piece, you need Duff's weapon, the Goo Shaver, because you have to fire it so that it falls down this little gap and hits that explosive to blast this wall. Only X can retrieve this piece of the armor. Zero cannot get it because he doesn't have a weapon that will allow him to do it. You also have to be careful when trying to get it, because your positioning has to be like right about here when you fire it, because of the way the Goo Shaver works. And if you go too far, oh no, you scroll to the next area and now you have to fight the submarine again. Yes, this entire level is wholly unpleasant. And of course, like with the Ascension, or like with fighting the tail, you cannot permanently destroy these cannons. You can only destroy them temporarily to get them to stop bugging you. And yes, if you get trapped underneath the platform, you will get crushed and you will die. So don't do it. Bad idea. Alright, so in case you're wondering, no, you cannot skip the mini-boss by going through the boss gates. Watch. It doesn't work. So what you have to do is instead, that little glass segment you have to break in order to show the actual weak point. And of course, like everything else with this boss, it respawns. Only unlike the other times you fought it, you cannot permanently get rid of the cannons this time. Oh, by the way, make sure that you are not standing on it when it dies, because once it finishes exploding, it falls down, and now you have a bottomless pit. So be careful about that. Alright, so Tidal Whale is weak to the Crescent Slash, the weapon you got from Grizzly. Or, rather, Crescent Grizzly. By the way, those spikes on the end, they are instant death kill spikes, so they will come into play during the second half of the... they will come into play during the second half of the fight. Now, using the Crescent Slash, the problem with fighting the bosses with their weakness is that using their weakness on them gives them an extended invulnerability time frame compared to hitting them with normal attacks. So it's kind of use at your own risk. And now here's where the instant death kill spikes come into play. He tries to slam you into them with his ice bricks. But the thing of it is, using the boss's weakness against them cancels out all of their current attacks. So, yeah. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break while I split off the video, and I'll be back in just a few minutes when we go to take on the remaining Mavericks. So, first let me make sure I get the correct item from him. Alright, so he gives us, if we take the energy up, he gives us the energy saver, which reduces the effect of, or the amount of ammo necessary to use the boss weapons. We don't need that, because X's armor already has that equipped. The other option is the Super Recover from the Life Up, which increases the amount of health restored when you pick up health pickups. We're not actually going to use that ability, but we'll take the Life Up, because Life Ups are useful. Alright, so X just got an energy upgrade. So let's go ahead and save here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and split off the video, and I'll be back in just a few minutes.